Imagine waking up and realizing the entire world is playing by a different set of rules just for you. Doors open before you knock. Strangers smile without reason. You get the job, the table at the restaurant, and the benefit of the doubt, all because of the way your DNA arranged itself. This is pretty privilege. It's the invisible currency that buys happiness, status, and power. Science calls it the halo effect, a psychological bias where we assume that if someone is beautiful, they must also be kind, intelligent, and trustworthy. But in 2026, the currency is crashing. Beneath the filters and the surgeries lies a disturbing truth that nobody talks about. Because while beauty is a superpower, it's also a golden cage. Today, we're peeling back the skin of perfection to look at the dark side of being beautiful. Why the most envied people on Earth are often the loneliest, and why pretty privilege always comes with a devastating price. For decades, psychologists have studied how beauty affects our lives. The results are consistent and terrifying. Beautiful people earn more money. They get shorter prison sentences. They are perceived as more competent even when they fail. But here is where the darkness begins. The mask. When the world only reacts to your surface, you start to disappear. Think about it. If everyone agrees with you because you're pretty, how do you know if you're actually smart? If everyone wants to be your friend, how do you know who actually likes you? For those with high, pretty privilege, life becomes a series of superficial echoes. You stop being a person and start being a projection. In the 1950s, Marilyn Monroe was the ultimate victim of this. She was one of the most brilliant, well-read women in Hollywood, but the world demanded she stay the blonde. She was trapped behind a face she didn't choose, performing for a public that refused to look into her eyes. As she famously said, "A sex symbol is a thing, and I hate to be a thing." You'd think being beautiful makes you the most popular person in the room. But often, it's the opposite. It's called social exclusion. Research shows that people are actually less likely to approach someone who is exceptionally beautiful. We find them intimidating. We assume they are arrogant or that they already have enough friends. This creates the ice queen effect. The most attractive people are often surrounded by admirers, but have very few genuine friends. They are treated like museum pieces, looked at but never touched. Women, in particular, face the beauty penalty from their peers. In professional settings, a beautiful woman is often seen as a threat or as someone who used her looks to get to the top. Pretty privilege doesn't just invite admiration, it invites deep, silent resentment. You gain the world, but you lose the connection. Now, let's talk about 2026. In the era of AI and advanced biotech, the dark side of beauty has evolved. We have reached a point where perfection is no longer a genetic lottery. It's a software update. But this has made pretty privilege more toxic than ever. When everyone can be a 10 out of 10 with a filter or a procedure, the value of natural beauty is replaced by a desperate, constant competition. We are living through a beauty arms race. The pressure to maintain the privilege is so high that it leads to identity erosion. People are terrified of aging, terrified of a bad angle, terrified of the day the privilege stops. Because when your entire identity is built on how the world looks at you, who are you when they look away? This is why we see icons like Kim Kardashian constantly reinventing their silhouettes. It's a desperate attempt to stay ahead of the curve, to keep the privilege active. But it's a losing game. Time is the one thing no billionaire can outrun. So, is pretty privilege a blessing? Only if you never plan on growing old, and only if you don't care about being known for who you truly are. The dark side of being beautiful is the realization that your most valuable asset is the one thing you can't keep. It's a depreciating currency. True power doesn't come from a symmetrical face or a slim, thick silhouette. It comes from the ability to be invisible and still be heard. It comes from building a life that doesn't shatter when a mirror breaks. Marilyn Monroe spent her life trying to escape her icon status. Kim Kardashian built a fortress out of it. But both prove that beauty is a heavy crown to wear. The next time you look in the mirror and wish for pretty privilege, remember, it's better to be seen for your soul than to be watched for your shape. Because trends fade and faces change. But the person inside? That's the only one who stays when the lights go out. Thanks for watching. Do you think pretty privilege is real, or is it just an excuse? Let me know in the comments. And if you're ready to see the world differently, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.